Okay, hi everybody. This is a wonderful group of people. So I think most of you know one another, except you might not know Sally. Sally's in London, and so Lena is in Sweden, Lynn's in Norway, Bobby's in Arizona, no, New
New
Mexico.
Mexico.
Kelly's here in Wells with me. Julia is at the moment in Antigua, but she's usually in the UK. And Sheila is, I think, in Washington, Seattle, Washington, that area. Anyways, just north of there. So, but she was on vacation, so who knows where she is at the moment. So exciting. But it's great to have you all here. It's interesting. I was just tuning into all this before we start. So the title of this call is Life Source Power. A funny title, perhaps. I don't know. But as I got thinking about it and what is life source power, oh, to me, I've been really playing with it for decades now, really. And I think I would say for me, I could talk about it. Hi, Madeline. Hey. So, talking about life source power, and I'm just gonna, well, I'm gonna have us experience it first, but I want to just say a little bit about it first. Life source power is, for me, the pulse behind creation in the universe, but it's also that which animates life, all life. And it's also, it could also be seen as the energy of source, the intelligence, the pulse, the understanding, the energy of source. And we might all access it differently. So where I kind of pull life source power out of the universe and flow it through me, others might access it as a source point within them or from some different point. So, and you might even define it slightly different. But to me, it's the intelligence, the energy, the power that is behind life, that has life pulse and thrive and move and create and be alive. That's how I would talk about life source power. And I think I began to work with it quite some years ago. And at the time I talked about it as like the energy of creation in the universe as supernova exploding and galaxies colliding, and there's so much energy in the universe. So what the heck? We'll have some of that, like. And as a result, for me, and that's probably 20, 25 years ago I started doing that. I have such huge vitality. I mean, it's just a kind of never-ending vitality that just flows through me all the time. So it's different than your own individual life force. So, and as I was just lining up for this call, I thought the life force that we each are individually comes from somewhere. And then it's like, that's you, that has the essence of you, and that has the essence of you, and that has it. It's what animates you, it's what brings you to life. Some people might call it soul or spirit, or, there might be all different names for it, but I would call it life force. Is that when you're born, you have life force come in, and when you die, you have life force go out, and it's what animates people. So life source power is a kind of a bigger, even bigger picture of that and how we can access that and use it. Now, why would we want to? Well, one, as I said, vitality, well-being, the animation of the life force of you and life. And because I think we're in a period where we're evolving extraordinarily at the moment. Like you can watch the old reality just falling apart at the seams at the moment. And then what's happening is we're being called to be evolutionary creators. And I think as evolutionary creators, we have to have a kind of, let me call it an oomph. You have to have something that gives you the thrivingness, the power, the drive, the intelligence, the understanding that takes you there. So Kelly and I had this great conversation the other day over lunch about the intelligence behind all things, and it was a great conversation. And it's kind of when I talk about life source power, I'm also talking about that intelligence that is behind all life. Yeah. And I
Mm.
think this group is really powerful and advanced, and I would think you all kind of recognize to some degree what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I wanted to kind of split this into three pieces. So first, I want us to experience life source power. And then I'd like us to look at how we access the intelligence behind that. Then how we gain a richer understanding through that intelligence of the greater purpose of what's unfolding. And then how we develop an expansive reach and use the life source power to have all life thrive on the planet. Sound good? Okay. So first,
Hero.
yeah.
Sorry to there's some background noise which is a bit distracting. I don't know if quite where it's coming from. It's just stopped now, but yeah, it's just a bit distracting. So I don't know
Mm.
if you could
Does
mute us
anybody
all.
else hear it? I can't hear it.
Yeah, yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're not on mute, would you hit mute? So you two, Madeline and Julia, you're not on mute. Everybody else.
Can you mute me there, please, Soleira?
Yep, I
Thank
can,
you.
Julia. Yep. So just a sec while I do that. Mute. Okay, there we go. Julia, if you need to unmute and you can't get it, I think you can unmute yourself, but if you can't, just go. I'll do something about it. So, yeah. Is that better, Madeline? Okay, good. Fantastic. So let's just line up first. Okay, so all together, take a deep breath, line up, and make your connection to whatever source, universe, creator, energy, life, whatever it is for you that you connect with. And we'll line up all together for a great call, for great insights, great breakthroughs, whatever wants to happen through us. Very powerful group. You can already feel the greater work happening as we line up. That's beautiful. Okay, so now while you're in that place, if it feels right to you, ask to access whatever for you is life source power. And in the way that's for you, your good, for the best, for everything, for all life. And just see what that feels like if you access life source power in whatever way is yours to do that. And if you want to, then gift it to life, to the earth, to the world, to whatever, if that's what feels right to you. Okay. Oh, could for me, my hands tingle. Anybody experienced that? Yeah. I could feel my face getting hot from from the kind of exhilaration of the energy and the flow moving through us, the power moving through us. And I find it to be, in my case anyways, most of the times very graceful. It has a really a grace with a capital G on it. So anybody else want to share how that was for you or how you access it, how you experience it? Yeah, Madeline.
Yes, definitely grace. What I'm really feeling is just the power of love in quite a passionate way. It's not just like, oh yeah, I love you lot, you're all right. It's like just this passionate, ardent, just love that seems to power the universe. So for me, that's the primary vibration. And for me, when that courses through me, it very often will sort of act on various points so that my whole body just relaxes and straightens out. So I just find, my neck unkinks and my back straightens out and muscles relax. So I call it angelic chiropractic.
Sally will like that. She's a physiotherapist. That's lovely. Hey, did you do the peace walk today in
I
Glastonbury?
did, yes. I didn't
Wonderful.
walk all the way. It was quite a long walk, and they were going to go over Weary All Hill. But yes, we all gathered. There were a good 30 or 40 of us who set off. So we got in the car and went to street, and we didn't quite make it to the rendezvous at the other end. But
That's
I
lovely.
did my bit at the beginning, so
Good for you. That they were walking in Glastonbury in alignment with the peace walk of the monks that coming into Washington, D.C. today, which was lovely. So, yeah, yeah, beautiful, huh? Gorgeous. So, anybody else? How was that for you? Yeah, Lena.
On the microphone. Yeah. I felt quite first I was kind of almost thrown back because it came so much powerful toward me. So and then I was kind of I cannot just fall back. So I had to kind of fight it and sit still. And then I felt like my hand was like huge, big. It was powerful, a lot of power in the whole thing. So
Beautiful. Yeah, it can be quite powerful,
yeah.
actually. But I think because we're sitting at a moment in time where the world is being remade at the moment. That's how I would say it, I guess. And we're being evolutionary creators. We're evolving, we're taking life to the next levels of possibility of creation, of new heights of consciousness, awareness, energy, connection, etc., connection with nature, etc. So I think we need this kind of connectedness with what I'll call life source power, but it's universe source creator, life, whatever you want to call it. And I think when you do, it gives you the energy, the understanding, the greater purpose, the drive, the oomph to do what there is to do. So that power that you're describing, Lena, is, I think, what we use to elevate and evolve the whole world and maybe beyond all of that. Yeah, exciting. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, Sally.
I had this slightly cartoon feeling that I'd stuck two fingers into a PowerPoint and my hair was completely standing out on end. And I looked like a cartoon sort of, oh my God. And then it just sort of all dropped into my heart and that lovely vortex of heart energy.
Yeah.
And then you said offer it to the world. And I just thought, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? But I'm 75 and I've got so much vitality. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like I just kind of nonstop in a way, and I love it. But I can rest when I want to, although I tend to be what I call a hyper creator. So I'm constantly getting new ideas. I'm constantly creating new things. And
Yeah.
Kelly and I were having this great chat over lunch today about the difference between operating stressed to drive you and being relaxed and in this state of superflow to drive you and how different it is in those two states. So yeah. Kelly, do you want to say anything about that? You don't have to, but you're on mute.
Sorry, I have two screens and I couldn't get the cursor on this screen. No, we were just talking about it because I spent most of my career, being very successful, but at great levels of stress and exhaustion and burnout. And I definitely fundamentally believe nothing would get done unless I was driving and striving for it to get done. And really, I mean, I've been moving away from that for a long time, but like in the last, what is it, week or so, I have moved into something even more unbelievable that I can't even understand, where I am like Soleira just described. Like I suddenly don't even worry about getting things done. I have tons of vitality. We just went out and normally I would come home and be like, oh, now I got to go to work again and I got these insurance claims to process. And no, I just like boop a doop a doop a doop and bopped along and put them all in before this call and downloaded four other. I mean, it just like I'm not
Yeah.
nothing feels like there's any friction anymore. I'm just
Yeah.
getting things done as and when they get done, and it doesn't really matter, and it still gets done. And it's a very, very recent experience. So over lunch, I was like, there's something really wrong because I don't feel stressed, but I still have all this stuff to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really phenomenally different in the last week for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would call it a state of superflow.
yeah.
And you're kind of riding these waves of, well, I call it life source power, but the universal pulse, the intelligence, it's not just like you're not just sitting all alone in yourself trying to turn the world out. You're riding these waves, these pulses, this energy, this intelligence, this it's a relationship you develop, but it's also who you become in some way. I guess we might all do it different, so you might describe it in different ways, but it's such a different way to come at life in this way. And it gives so much. Because I tell you, that's one of the things, and I'll bet you all know this already. All of you have probably had years of experience of it, but saying yes to the universe, yes to the greatness of us and this world and its becoming. It's like this gorgeous adventure of constant discovery, constant new ideas. The joy is at the base of it all. There's like a synergy and synchronicity to everything. You see beauty everywhere you go. Transformation comes quite easily. There's a deeper, richer, greater understanding of what's going on in life. It carries you differently, I would say. You all experienced that? Let me just see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, it's talking to the converted, right? You all already know that. So, yeah, so it's exciting. So, I think too, so I wanted to talk about the access to it, which we did, the experience of it, but the intelligence behind it is extraordinary. It amazes me. Still, even now, 30 years later, I'm still like, wow, the intelligence behind creation, behind the pulse of life, behind how things are going. It's like no matter what goes on in the world, and boy, there's stuff going on in the world these days, big time. But no matter what goes on, I kind of have a trust, a faith, a belief, an understanding that behind it all, there's, I don't know what the word is. It's not, there's a greater purpose behind it. There's a greater possibility waiting for us to bring it through. and to take us there. I really don't think we'll collapse into whatever. So I trust it so implicitly. And accessing that intelligence is an extraordinary thing because it guides your life different. It's like an inner compass in a way, but it also answers great questions that it's like Google searching the universe. Yeah, Lynn, go for it.
So I do have that sense that everything's okay and there's a deep, deep calm in me, but it doesn't mean that I have that super flow all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I get
So yeah, but that's just how it is. Maybe now I don't know, but it just feels like that's. But it feels more and more empty. Put it that way. There's less and less that mentally is driving me. Put it that way.
Yeah. Well,
So it's
Kelly asked me today, do we get to stay in this super flow all the time? I said, well, you may have moments of not, but generally, once you've got it, it's always available to you. And
Yeah,
it does pretty much sit and flow pretty much.
yeah, I've been up and down before, but now I feel like I have gone into something way more
Yeah,
integral now, like a definite difference than
yeah.
before. Yeah.
It's like learning to surf the waves, but they're invisible waves, of life, intelligence, energy, a different kind of life power. And you're right, learning to surf the waves, and in that flow, things just come to you, ideas come to you, understanding comes to you. Sometimes I do have to ask, but it's so different. The pulse of it is so different. It's like we say yes to it, and I bet you've all said yes, right, to whatever, the evolution of us all and why we're here and what we're for. So it's riding those waves and letting that assimilate into our day-to-day lives and how we live our lives and how we run our businesses and how we, set up homes and walk in the world kind of thing. It's very, very different. So let's just access the intelligence behind the life source power. However you do that. So I don't want to direct it because you might all have a different like access point for it. Okay, so how should we do this? Well, let's just access it first and see what happens when we do. And if you want to like ask it a question or gain understanding of a greater purpose of something, it might be in your life, it might be in the world, whatever. Let's just see what happens when we do that. Okay, here we go. Okay. Well, for me, I would almost call it source intelligence. Like how the an intelligence that comes from the very source of life with an understanding of something greater. I use it to access greater purpose quite often, but it's not brain centered. It's not logically based. It's much more expansive and inclusive, and it's, for me, it's where possibilities live. It's where new ideas live. It's where the future, the possibility of us in a new reality lives. It's where I gain the understanding for those kind of things that wouldn't necessarily be in something I've learned or something like that. And that's how I understood it. But it's kind of like plugging into a great big giant intelligence. That's how it occurs for me. So anybody else want to share? How was it for you and how did you experience it? Yeah, Lynn.
I think what I experience is that I kind of connect to a still point within myself. It's more like a majesty point, and from there I can ask, but I don't necessarily, I don't see it as like you do, like intelligence. It's more like, okay, so knowing comes when it's supposed to, but it's not, I can't seem to seek it out. Oh yes, I can. I mean, if there's something concrete, like if I need to, like, I can, I can transfer a homeopathic remedy just energetically. I know how to do all those things. It's just that it's from a place of just, I think, maybe growing into a majestate, a kind of a, maybe into the Merkaba, whatever. I don't know. It's just like it's aligning
Yeah.
on a bigger scale.
As you're saying it, I'm thinking, how do I experience? It's like my brain becomes its brain, the source.
Yeah, well, I don't identify as brain even. It's knowing.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
in my
I get,
body.
yeah. Oh, okay. Mine tends to
It's
come.
like I just know, and it's from everywhere. It's not,
Yeah.
it's field knowing.
Yeah, yes, that's a good way to talk about it. Field knowing is a good term. Yeah, I think we're all nodding our heads. Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, anybody else? Yeah, Lena.
It was different. I haven't really wrapped my head around it yet, but I don't need to understand it here. So yeah, I was sort of like thrown back, and I was trying to see for what could be the the power or the source behind all this then. And I saw fire, lava, and it was like a creation of a earth, and I thought it was must be the creation of earth. And I got the feeling that knowing or intelligence or whatever has been there all the time. It's been so old as the start of the earth, and it's just being there. And it's always been there. And maybe we can just now tap into it, and I try. I'm going to learn that, but that was what I saw. And then I went back and I did it, and it was again. So
Yeah,
yeah, I had to think about that.
yeah. Isn't it fascinating though?
Yeah.
Like there is a whole other access to understanding, to knowing, as Lynn said, to a way of seeing life and what's. See, I don't think it's just like, because the way we hold intelligence in our logical, brain-centered way is we've learned things, this is how things are, there's a structure to it. But in this, it's not like that. It's just like a constant, like creative genius, whatever, outputting new ideas, new possibilities, new life force, that's how I experience it. So when I want to gain greater understanding, it isn't always a simple answer. Because I do think also that intelligence is saying to us, here, what you going to do with it. I think we have a role to play in the acts of creation as evolutionary creators to take these ideas and possibilities and things and turn them into life. Yeah. Oh, good. Hi, Sheila. Okay, great. Thanks. Great to have you with us. I thought she was in Mexico. Yeah. Lovely.
I
Yeah.
I don't know where it's coming from or how I'm doing it. I just do it. So I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it sounds more akin to what you're saying, Solara, but I just start talking to whatever it is. I don't really, I just go, okay, hey. And I had, because I was telling Solara that yesterday I had this thought, or maybe this morning, that maybe this is the end of the US. Like, I'm not in any way that I'm feeling like tragic about it or anything, but I'm just looking at it going, we're not coming back from this. But I deliberately asked, okay, so what is the purpose of the US falling apart right now? And I got like, it's not. Like, what makes you think it's falling apart? It's actually getting stronger. It's getting better. And I got this like totally, like, there is so much, it was saying to me, there is so much deep resource there, and it's only getting better. And then I said, well, why did we have, what was the point at which we lost the plot somehow, like, because I've been looking for that in my points of these things. And it said something about, and I think it's what you and I were talking about at lunch, but it was came across as the atomization of realities, like people, like Solara was saying, I think we were talking about different points of US history where it could have gone all wrong. And you said it was about when social media and all the bad ways that people were using the media to create all these different realities. It maybe came off a little bit that way. But then I said, well, how does one reverse that? And it was just like, it's happening right now. This is how, by people realizing what's really important. And I don't know. I just had this whole conversation. And then I asked, because Soler and I have been talking about, is everything driven by one intelligence, like the same intelligence powering water? And what Veda Austin does is, powering my intelligence. And who says we're not artificial intelligence? Like we were just having. So I asked, is there one single unified intelligence? And that was my kind of way of thinking about it. And it was like, oh no, absolutely not. There are many. It was Solera.
That's what I was saying. There
That
are
was what
many.
Solera. And I was like, well, are they automatically connected? And it was like, oh, not automatically. No, not automatically. Like there has to be intent for all these intelligences to know each other. I don't know. I just talk, and
Yeah.
it's really fascinating.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful to get these
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
viewpoints of the different ways of looking at life and the connectedness of us and what's possible for what we can become. Yeah, that's beautifully written, Bobby, the great weaving tapestry of all life intelligence. Yes,
Yeah.
and it is all life. It's all life forms, it's water, it's trees, it's mycelium networks, it's forests, it's earth, it's stars, it's all of it, you know? That's amazing. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Anybody else want to share about that? Okay. Okay. So you can see that you can access the energy of it, the intelligence of it, the understanding of the greater purpose behind it, but also it gives us a power to be able to do what there is for us to do. So I think that because I host a group which some of these people are in, which is the Murmuration of Maestros group. And we do at least once, sometimes twice a week, greater consciousness and energy work for the world to rise and elevate and evolve and thrive and connect and all of those kind of things. So we source breakthroughs in it. And I think in order to do that, I don't think we can just be ordinary folks in ordinary lives. I mean, you can pretend to be that if you want to be in disguise. but I think if you're going to do that greater work in the fields of us all, in the interwoven connectedness of us all, it takes a kind of a different level of expansive reach and this different kind of power pulse in order to do that. It's, when does it make sense what I'm talking about? I think some of you know that. So if I was going to explain that to somebody who didn't know it, because I think you all do, but if it was just me, so if I'm just me and I'm gonna change the world, like nothing, I can do this, but nothing, it's like I'm not connected. I'm not in flow. Don't have the power pulse. But if I'm all of it, all of life, the life source powers flowing, the intelligence, if I'm, in my case, I talk about being the universe in creation. In other cases, people talk about being creator or the infinite mother is Bobby's and source of life. You know, we all have different ways of how we're connected and what we're connected to. But if I do that and I go to change the world, it's like I could raise everybody on the planet in a single go at a level of vibrational frequency. I can feel it flowing through me. It's just like I'm not just a person sitting in a room. I can feel the expansiveness of me being able to do what I'm going to say what I'm called to do, because it's not what I think I should do or what my agenda or intention tells me to do. I would call this spontaneous mastery. That's my term for it. So you go into that state and something moves through you to elevate life. And you go with the flow of it and see what happens. So let's just experience that. So just first, if you just like be you sitting in a room and go, I'm gonna like elevate the world. You see what that feels like, right? See how much energy you have, how much power you have, how much flow you have, how much understanding you have, etc. Right? Kind of, yeah, nice, okay. Okay, now access whatever this life source power is for you and go elevate the planet. Gosh, that was so powerful. When we did that all together, I mean, I know we were doing it individually in different places around the world, but you could feel us kind of all together doing something. It was really, it's still kind of running through me almost. Did the rest of you feel that as well? Yeah, you see the difference between, it's like, it's not just plugging into something. It's like being in a partnership dance with a greater force of life or source of life that wants good things for us, great things for the world, for all life to thrive. And then it just kind of moves through us in this kind of spontaneous way. And you know it's right because it feels so right. If it didn't feel right, I would stop immediately. But it feels so right. And it's almost like we've put a pulse out and it's still doing its wonders in the world. Yeah, Lynn, go for it.
What I'm experiencing is that it's like my mental thought stuff has to get out of the way, and it's from that sense that goes beyond where we connect, beyond everything, and there is a source power in everything, actually, everything in life, everything, even those things that our minds might have constructs in a negative way. And that's what I'm seeing more and more, that you go into that deeper sense, and there yeah, and it's beautiful.
Oh, isn't it? It is a beautiful experience, isn't it? It's like to be able to elevate the whole world, to be able to have the
Yeah,
access to be able
yeah,
to do that. You don't then
exactly.
sit isolated in yourself looking at the world going, oh, I wish I could help.
Yeah,
I wish I could do something. It's
but
like, whew, yeah,
but then my question is, from there to finish a PhD, I still don't know.
I get that.
It's one and the same, Lynn. Everything you're doing through the PhD is bringing something into this world
I
that,
know, but
yeah.
it's like it's so many details. It's
uh,
like, and for an Aries to have to deal with so many words.
I get that. Yeah, I do get that. Yeah. Anybody else? What was your experience of that? No.
really,
Okay.
really yummy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, really, I could feel it all through my body and really tingly. My th and really delicious. But uh, my thing remains not, while I'm doing that, I don't need to know what I'm doing. And we talked about it before. If you're trying to figure it out while you're doing it, you ruin the whole flow.
Get in the
But
way.
I am often curious about what we just did. Like I know we did something really powerful. And if I asked myself, I'll get very general things like, we're elevating things. What I did ask right now when you were talking, you guys, I just kind of went, what? And I got the word like we purified something.
Yeah.
But that's a very general thing. Sometimes I just wonder a
One of
little
the
more about
things,
what's actually happening.
yeah, I get that because that was very powerful. And even though I said, let's elevate everything, and that sounds like raise the vibrational frequency, but it didn't quite feel like that.
I got purified. We did
Yeah,
some
it was like
purified.
a pulse of something went through the world to accelerate and fuse and forge something interwoven of us. It wasn't like it felt like we pulsed it and then it kept going. So even though we stopped, it's still going through the world. Yeah, Bobby.
So my sense in this conversation is our intent to connect, to be in partnership, to uplift and elevate became a kind of catalyst that then fractally touched in to the trees, the mycelium, the ocean, the sky, the stardust, the
Yeah,
souls of beings, and that it was the catalytic connection, the spark that then awakened another level and layer of all the different life that we might have connected with, and
yeah,
whatever then flowed from that connection, so
yes,
that the catalytic is the starter, and it got those systems activated and
yeah,
moving, and they're now doing their own thing,
yeah,
whatever it may be.
yeah,
And I've always held, when I hold my circles, I have no idea what people might need in the moment, or wish to create. I just bring through the energy, and what is theirs will come to them in that moment. So it becomes a living catalyst.
yeah,
And I sense that's at least part of what we did, um, in terms of purifying and awakening new cascades
no,
of amazingness for all
no,
these different systems that we might have touched into, or our lineage, knows the stones, or knows the trees, or knows the ocean, or knows the rivers.
yeah,
And so that's where our thing went. We don't have to know where it needs to go,
yeah,
it knows where to go.
yeah. Oh, Bobby, that's so beautifully said. I love it. The other thing that I find life source power does, it awakens the miraculous in life, whether that's in a person or in a nature or in the trees or in the water. It it not only awakens the miraculous, but it, I think, opens the doors or portals to new possibilities of who we are and how we exist as beings and how we're interwoven and interconnected. There's something about this that's like it's so interesting because it's not a logical process. It's a super miraculous, magical, amazing thing that happens that really almost it does sort of defy description sometimes. But yet, if you are in it enough, if you're with it enough, you can use it to be a catalyst, to activate, to enliven, to quicken, to, take beings to new levels, kind of thing. And I think that's, for me, it's both a partnership, but it's also a becoming. I feel like it's both for me. So I've said yes to the universe and creation, that's mine. And yet I feel like I'm becoming the universe and creation at the same time. So it's like a dual thing that's happening, or maybe more than dual, but it's quite an extraordinary experience to be able to live life in this way? So exciting, isn't it? So there you go. Okay. Anybody else want to share, or you want to ask any questions that come up about any of this, or, let's just open it up and see where you want to go with it. Where do you go after that amazing experience, right? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do a webinar series that starts next week. Bobby's already in it. So if anybody's interested in that, it's called The Evolution of Us. It's 4 different months, but there's 2 Zoom calls a month that we're going to do this kind of work with and play in a way with it. So if you're interested in that, it's on my website, soleragreen.com, and it's the webinar page. So /webinar.html, it's on there. You can see the details for it. So this has been an exciting call. I really loved it. Really brilliant. The work that we've just done. I mean, I can still feel it kind of rolling on. And that's quite unusual. Usually when we do a piece of work, you do it and you're done. But this is, I can feel it still rolling. That's so powerful. That's amazing. What a group we are. I love it. Exciting. So thank you. Thank you for being on this call with me. I will publish the recording both in the event page on my timeline, and so you see it around places if you want to watch it again. So exciting. Oh, thanks, Sally.
Thank you. It was nice to see you all again.
It was great to see you
Yeah.
too. Thank you, everybody. Have a marvelous, magical rest of your day.
Yeah.
Lots of
Thank
love.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
So much.